Hello and welcome to WhatCulture Gaming. I'm joined today by the dynamic duo of Ash Millman and Rachel Shackleton to talk to you about Fallout 76 because, for some reason, Bethesda put a beta out last night from midnight until 3 a.m. in the UK, I think, when I was asleep, having played Red Dead Redemption all day. But these two maniacs were up all night playing the beta to tell you exactly what the hell it is and if it's actually any good. So, guys, is it?
It's okay.
It's okay. That's a good start.
It's okay. Actually, I'm going to stick with that because I am not quite in the party of, yes, it's brilliant, I'm getting it, definitely. And I'm not quite in the party of, like, it's butts either. Like, it's okay. It's fine.
It's certainly not butts. It is certainly not butts. But it is, I definitely agree that it's perfectly fine. It's like, it's nothing crazy. I would say it's instantly, just to dive on right in there.
Go on.
The first thing that I was like, oh my god, about is actually it's very pretty for a Fallout game.
Yes.
It isn't just green and brown and like the horrible irradiated landscape of death and ruin. It's quite pretty.
I like. But
Well,
no.
that is still there.
Okay.
It is still very, the apocalypse, but it is a pretty apocalypse. It's a pretty calypse.
Yeah.
How much of an upgrade is it in comparison to Fallout 4, do you think? Because that sort of had a more colourful palette in the world. It was less grey, it was less brown. And this, to me, from the screenshots, looks a bit like ass, I'm not going to lie. But is it sort of good? I mean, I think we've all stopped giving Bethesda the benefit of the doubt. When their games look bad now, we call them out on it because they don't look great. But is this a step up in any form?
I thought it was great. The lighting in particular I thought was really great. I haven't actually got a ton of experience in Fallout 4. I'm going to say like 2 or 3 hours. So I've not got much.
Hated it.
I've not got much to compare it to, but it did. Definitely the lighting for one is a lot better in my opinion. Happy Halloween, by the way.
Spooky. I agree with the lighting being good. The whole like weather systems and everything, the way that like
Yes.
sunlight, daylight, nighttime, the spooky time happens is really good. That's really good. Visually, it's chunky trees.
Of course, yeah.
There's very
Yeah.
chunky trees. Some people's faces are very chunky.
Do you know it was really funny? Because I was messaging Ash last night. We were sort of playing it together,
Yes.
but separately. She was on the Xbox, I was on PS4. So we were together, but separate. And she was like, oh yeah, what bit are you at now? I'm just going down to Uncanny Valley. And I'm like, it's a bit ironic that. It's a bit ironic.
It turned out to be the Uncanny Caverns.
I know,
They should have called
but-
it Uncanny
God
Valley.
damn it.
They should have, because let's be honest, the people don't look great. They
Nope.
look okay.
Yeah.
Nope, they look like ass, as I mentioned. Okay, so like visually, it seems very Fallout 4. Like you said, the lighting is really lush, but obviously the big difference is this is online. And Fallout 4 was not online, and yet people just keep saying that it plays the exact same but emptier. I don't want it to be that. I
Yeah.
want there to be more going on. Did you guys get a sense for that interaction yesterday, or was it
Yeah.
just kind of bugging out on you all the time?
No, right away, like the first thing I noticed was literally, I was like, where is everybody? It was really empty, and I sort of like was expecting some kind of NPCs like to have also escaped the vault with me, but I think what they've done is they've just swapped NPCs, swapped that kind of atmosphere that you get from like computer controlled people, and they've just swapped it out for real people. But
Yeah.
real people don't behave nicely
Real people
sometimes.
suck.
Real people suck
Like-
sometimes. So my first actual like time I found another person was I was just taking a nap. I was just lying in the sleeping bag taking a nap, and they just ran over, just stood over me like. It was weird. It was definitely different. But yeah, how about you? Did you party up with anybody?
No, I put my party hat on, a new party hat. But no, I literally saw everyone and was like, oh my god, other people. Like I got really shook because like I came out, was like, it's empty, it's great, I can do what I want. And then was looking for people, I was like, wait, there's no NPCs, everyone is dead. And then saw some real people, I was like, they're gonna kill me, they're gonna stab me, they're gonna
Is there
bash me around the
PvP?
field.
Because nobody
Level 5.
took a shot at me,
No.
thankfully.
I didn't kill anyone. Nobody killed me. I was tempted to, but then I didn't want to like run up to someone and just machete them for no reason. When
Why
we're all
not?
we're all in the beta. We're all having a nice time.
There's
We're
every reason.
So how does that interaction sort of, like, you sort of run into someone else and they just stand over you? That doesn't really sound like what I want from a shared world shooter, Rach. I just don't want someone
I'll
there.
tell
like
you how it
Destiny or
works.
something.
I'll tell you how it works, and it is
Go on.
actually brilliant. There's an emote wheel, And it's actually
So
brilliant.
it's exactly like Destiny.
It's
Yes,
so
yeah.
good. Yeah, it is very Destiny. The whole thing is very Destiny. But I just something cute about just going up to someone and just going,
There is, but when you're in a Fallout online game,
Yeah.
that's sort of supposed to be encouraging PvE, PvP. You don't want your reaction, Ash. You don't want to be seeing people and going, "Oh God, I need to get away from them. I want to play this solo." I think a lot of people are going to go into this wanting to play it solo. Is that any fun, or do you need friends to sort of get the most out of these systems?
Rachel's face is like.
I know. I mean, I don't have
that
any
little
either.
seagull
So
face.
yeah.
thanks.
You know, like me.
Mine?
I would. Oh, knock the microphone. I would say, don't knock the microphone. I would say, as a personal experience, it's dry. It's very dry as a solo thing because you see people and it's just kind of lonely because you see them running around in teams.
You don't want to be with them, do you? You don't.
You don't want to, but it's also like, oh, okay, I'm on my own. And then you go run around for it, but you don't get to talk to any NPCs or get yourself involved in the world in the same way. You're literally just scavenging corpses and listening to holotapes.
Yeah.
And the holotapes play out, and then there's all sorts of gunfire and things coming over. And if you were playing with other people, then that would cut over the holotapes. You wouldn't be able to listen to them. And when you listen to the holotapes, everyone else in the world, like the mole rats and everything, come and get you. I had a really nice time where I was just standing looking at my Pit Boy thinking, oh, it's fine, I'm in a nice bit. 17 mole rats
God
come over.
damn the mole rats.
Burrowing out the thing, eating me, chewing me. I was trying to listen to my holotape. Not going to happen.
Now,
so.
what's a gal to do when she's just hanging out, listening to the holotapes, and
know.
17 mole rats come at you? I don't know.
Literally.
I don't know what you do in that situation. Rach, what about you? Did you enjoy playing solo, or you solo?
Yeah, one word to describe it would be empty. This is a game that I am interested in playing, don't get me wrong, but not unless like I have a friend who I know is going to be on there playing with me. Just on the subject of holotapes as well, like there's like mini games.
Yeah.
Like in the holotapes as well, so you could be sitting just playing those, like, and it's all. Don't get me wrong, there is plenty to sort of keep you. What are you laughing
I was
at?
going to say, so you would rather play the mini games on the Pit Boy than actually play Fallout 76?
Well,
is that what you're saying?
there is plenty to keep you interested, but I think it would be better multiplayer. personally,
Right.
with someone you know.
Yeah, I think it definitely would be good as teams, but then you lose out on a specific level of detail. So like you play solo and it's empty and you get detail, but I don't know, it's a really strange mix of chaotic and empty, because you'll happen across something like the public events where everyone's running around and all of like monsters are appearing and everything, and you'll happen across that and be like, holy there's loads going on, and then you'll wander off into like some desolate forest and literally nothing will be there. There's no one to talk to, there's nothing to do. You're just running around going, whoa, okay, when's the next thing happening? So it is really a really weird combination of chaotic and empty depending on what you look out for as well. So
I know it sounds kind of counterproductive to rag on a game for being multiplayer focused when it is multiplayer focused, but at the same time people come to Fallout for a certain experience. I love Fallout and I want to play it at least a little bit solo. You can't always buddy up with people, and sometimes buddying up with strangers is just a recipe for disaster. You don't want to do that because you might get nuked or something. So the fact that this is sort of empty on your own and you don't get the full experience is kind of disappointing, even though that's obviously not the focus. It's a very different Fallout game.
Yeah.
But it should sort of, in my eyes, still have something there for the people who have been a fan of this franchise since Bethesda rebooted it back with Fallout 3, and I don't know.
I mean, if you're much of an achievement hunter, there are quite a lot of challenges that you can do, and I'm someone who quite likes doing that. Like if I'm ever sort of just waiting for someone to come online, for example. But yeah, there's lots of things you can do solo. It's just, if I wanted to play a Fallout game solo, I'd probably play one of the older ones, and maybe that's just my opinion. But 76, I feel like, is good, but as a multiplayer game.
What's kind of like the main draw then? So you're buddying up with people, you're doing a lot of things, like you said, there's a lot of different activities you can do, a lot of different challenges to accomplish. Is it just sort of this make your own fun simulator, or have you actually got a drive that you actually want to achieve?
That's what it is. I honestly think it's just a big sandbox.
Right.
And that's not a bad thing. I mean, look how good like Minecraft is in multiplayer, but I think you got it right there. Just a big bit of fun.
Well, Rach, before we started filming, you said that it had a lot of comparisons to the Elder Scrolls Online, which obviously Bethesda didn't actually develop, but they published, and it's their first sort of online MMO using their franchises. How similar to this is that, or is it a completely different beast?
It's similar in the fact that it's online, but I think that's where it stops, to be honest.
Okay.
That is good.
That is good.
Well, I actually, do you know what? I love the Elder Scrolls Online, especially now. Like if you haven't played it since it first came out. It was a bit. Oh, it was a bit.
It was very bad.
Bit terrible.
It was a thing.
But it's really, really good now, and you should definitely try it again. But it's that is a world that proves that you can have this multiplayer experience, but still have a really populated, atmospheric world. But Fallout, I just didn't really get that as much. It was just a beta.
It was
to be
just
fair.
a beta.
This is the thing.
But it still has things like, for example, the store in Elder Scrolls Online, you can buy cosmetics, and I did quite like that. So Fallout has that as well. I guess you can just use like real life money to buy some kind of caps or so. But so there's comparisons like that. If you're the type of people who enjoy that type of thing, I am, sadly.
Well, it's sort of interesting that you mentioned that when the Elder Scrolls Online first shipped, it was had not similar problems, but it had a lot of problems of barriers of entry getting into that. It wasn't quite as popular as people wanted it to be. The quests weren't as good. It had obviously had that price point barrier. Are we going to see something similar with this, where it might ship a bit empty, a bit barren, but then eventually, as the years go by and Bethesda continue to support it, which they will, admittedly, they're looking at this as sort of a platform. Will it eventually grow, but then do we really want that? Because that just sort of negatively impacts people who pick it up day one and people who are really passionate about it day one.
I mean, if you look at obviously what happened last time with the Elder Scrolls Online, I'd say, yeah, maybe that will happen again. But then I will also say, why didn't they learn from that?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, it's because they're doing a beta about a month before the game comes out, like 3 weeks before the game comes out.
It's even less than that, isn't it? It's like mid-November and it's the end of October now, so it's
good.
literally like two weeks.
Doing it for 3 hours in the middle of the night, that's how you make your games good.
Please look after your UK fans.
Do you know what? Yeah, we were really sleepy, so I'm really sorry if we just seem to be pooping on this game loads, but we were really sleepy, so maybe that had something to do with it.
Yeah.
I don't really play games late at night much.
I think a big part of this for me is I don't like online. I like going on a game and just playing on my own and doing my own thing, having my own story. The Fallout 4, Oblivion, Skyrim stuff is very much more my sort of thing. I was never a massive fan of the single Fallout games, but I did play play them enough to get the feel. And this one, it reads more as the same of Fallout, but again in the multiplayer thing, and it's just unnecessary.
It's hard to describe, isn't it? It's hard to describe. I think we'll need to to be honest, we'll need to wait and see in the full release, because you never know, they could completely turn it around in 2 weeks.
Bethesda said in 2 weeks. Bethesda said the sort of instruction with this beta was to go in and absolutely break it.
They did say that. What the hell?
It's fine.
I didn't find any silly glitches. I was disappointed.
Just the bad ones.
I dropped a few frames.
Did you actually? Whoa.
Did you drop down to like 50 frames a second?
It just went like, and I was like, "What's going on?" Break it! What's even the test called? Break it experiment 2.
I don't know. I think they were trying
Ashley,
to be.
You all right?
No, I don't know.
Are you okay, Ash?
After the thing is, I also feel like we need to say that me and Rach did enjoy playing it. Like picking it apart technically is a lot different to the actual like experience of it, and there was points that were good. So whilst we might appear to be on it a bit, there was actually lots of things that were good and interesting, and that will play out good and interesting in the actual main release, because they're doing what they said they were going to do at the end of the day.
At the end of the day, that's what they promised, and that's what we've got.
Yeah.
Multiplayer Fallout.
It's just nobody asked for it.
No, I guess the important thing is, did you guys come away from last night thinking, I want to jump back in, I want to play more, I want to see where this takes me, or were you like, I've sort of got my fill? I don't know. That's not a good face, Rach. That's not a good face.
I have been thinking about it all morning, actually.
Cool.
I have been thinking about it, and I've been going, I wonder, if I just found another jumpsuit. I was still in that blue jumpsuit. Maybe there was some cool fashion around the corner.
The jumpsuit.
In the other town, maybe there was. Maybe I could have got a nice hat.
I had the
party hat.
I think for me, playing it, I think because of the 2-hour period, we do need some more time in there to experience it and stuff, and have a bit more, not in the dead of night. But for me as well, the whole Mothman, Flatwoods Monster, all of that weird urban legend stuff, I want to go find them. Like, that actually is a really cool addition to the
Ash
thing.
found a dragon, by the way.
Yes,
I didn't find a dragon. I want to, technically it was like a gargoyle, like a scorch beast.
Okay.
So she's texted me, because I was texting her, I was like, it's no Elder Scrolls Online. It's not enough dragons. And she was like, legit just found a dragon, by the way.
The dragons just killed me.
What?
No, it's like coming through with the blue magic and everything. I was like, oh my god, a sorcerer scorch, but then it was actually a massive dragon trying to eat me.
Yeah, I want to find those. I do want to play it again.
Yeah.
On the way to Uncanny Valley, so.
I want to play it just to see what this uncanny valley thing is. So, like we said before, this is a Bethesda game. How broken was it? Was it fine? Was it running okay? This is the first time they've ever done online, and I don't trust them to do it properly, especially with Fallout's engine.
It was surprisingly all right.
Yeah,
actually,
it was
the running animation was a bit crap.
Oh, good.
Right.
But that was better.
Like good by Bethesda standards, or actually genuinely good.
Fine, just fine in
Fine,
general.
You know
yeah.
what? I'm surprised. But pleased.
Actually,
Well, actually.
the actual thing ran fine, but the giant over 40 gigabyte update that had to go on beforehand, and the horrible thing that happened to the PC people that had all their files deleted, that was quite bad.
Yeah,
That was
it was
quite bad.
PlayStation 4 because I got my code yesterday. 95 gigabytes
What?
in total. I had to delete God of War.
Oh,
What is? Whoa, hang on. Why was there a 40 gigabyte update?
I don't freaking know. I went on, like, I had this beta downloaded and ready. I was prepared, but I obviously didn't check it yesterday because I thought, I'll check it a few hours beforehand just in case there's an update. There was an update, and it'd come in yesterday. It hadn't informed me, nor had it auto update. Look, I'm getting.
I can tell you're really angry about
I was
this.
annoyed
When it's a
about
small
this.
4-hour window in the middle of the
Yeah.
night and you just want it to be over, like, no offense. Then that is pap. That was awful.
Literally. Because it's windowed, they didn't notify me, and then like load it up, do the check. I'm so glad I did that check.
Damn it, Beth.
It actually, like, it took so long. It took so long to install. And then all the people who were also in the same situation as me beforehand had their, like, bandwidth strangled by doing it all at the same time. Whatever the words are,
Brilliant.
the technical words, it took a long time.
That's like almost as big as Red Dead Redemption 2, that 90 gigabyte download or whatever.
And where are the horse testicles?
Where are the horse testicles? That is the question we're ending on. Where are the horse testicles in Fallout 76? These are our first impressions, or mostly Rach's and Ash's. You've been watching WhatCulture Gaming. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Did you get a chance to play the beta, or were you asleep like me? Either way, I've been Josh.
I have been Rach.
I've been Ash.
She thinks.
well,
You've been
I-
watching WhatCulture
I've been-
Gaming. It will see you soon.
Cheers, guys.
Bye.
Oh, I hit the mic
Oh, you
again.
hit the mic
Bye.
again. We're just messing it up.